The more I travel into this social media life, into this online life, the more I realize why I did it in the first place. When it comes down to it, if we're looking for the beautiful things in life, if we're looking to actually affect people, we got to use technology. Because frankly, if we don't, we're kind of behind the curve. I was taught at a young age that if you are going to go and invest in something new, if you're going to go and start something new, start with the newest thing that's out there. And a lot of us kind of shy away from technology as passive observers. I think a lot of us don't have the peace of mind or necessarily the self-concept to go out there on social media and to put ourselves out there. And I think it's at our detriment because this thing that we have defined as evil, the majority of us have defined as external to us, somehow merely entertainment, is actually a phenomenal resource for connecting with beautiful minds. I mean, you're going to come across people that don't agree with the things that you do or don't necessarily have an entirely positive self-concept that might end up rubbing you the wrong way. But I think it's better than kind of sitting on your own and trying to figure this life out. I had the opportunity in my life to move a lot, and for various reasons, for reasons that I wouldn't wish on anyone else, really, but it's given me a lot of chances to connect with beautiful people and to see beautiful stories and to experience, I guess, the mesh that comes with true friendship. And it's also given me a lot of gratitude for essentially all of the little things that human connections bring to us. And that's kind of why I'm making this video today. If you don't know, my name's Tarab. I make emotional intelligence videos every day. The goal is to inspire people that know that they have incredible things to offer the world to actually go out and do those things, to really put in the energy and the effort to make those things a reality. I think the more people in this world that start to do that, that start to get that self-concept, the habits and the necessary due diligence together to make these things happen, I think the more beautiful the world's honestly going to get, and the more beautiful our individual lives are going to get. So I wanted to tell you that if you're afraid of social media, if you're afraid to get out there and you're afraid to reach out to people that you don't know, and you're afraid to have people know you, that first of all, you're not all that important. And that's something that I tell people all the time when they're like, oh, I don't want to put my baby's pictures up on the internet, or I don't want to, expose all the things that I've been through in my life. It might be bad for you professionally. I say, listen, if you've come to terms with what you've gone through in your life, and you've come to terms with the beautiful person that you are, then you're actually subtracting from the world if you are not a part of it. You're actually subtracting from the online universe if you are not a part of it. Share the things that you believe in. Don't just like them, right? Like, put them into your friend groups. Stand for things. Educate yourself to the point where your opinions actually have some backing, right? Like, the more human beings that we have engaged with or read the philosophies of that can support our beliefs, the more we believe that other beliefs that we have are actually substantial, that actually have ground. And when I first started embarking on this kind of self-help process, this whole building thing, Jim Rohn, by the way, if you're looking for inspiration beyond this video, that is an incredible human being. At least from the videos that I've seen. I don't know how he was personally, but he was the mentor for Tony Robbins. And I remember seeing his videos, and I remember seeing the childish exuberance that he had in the way that he talked to his people, his audience. And I was thinking to myself, my goodness, how many lives has this person's attitude, this person's self-worth affected? I want to do that. And I have an inclination to leadership, to organizing, to systematizing things. So I knew that this social media thing, this influencer thing, is something for me. Now, that's not for everyone. I get it. But that doesn't mean that we should be using social media or that we should be using the internet as merely a place to forget that life exists, that we exist. Life tends to get a lot more interesting when we realize that our actions have a lot to do with the things that we're exposed to, the things that we're allowed to be a part of. And that's why I advocate for, drinking a lot of water, working out, having a morning routine, setting something bigger up in life so that we have something to look forward to when we wake up. So I went through today and I responded to a bunch of YouTube comments. And I hadn't done it in a while because, frankly, I've been busy, but I also didn't really prioritize it until I came across a Gary Vee video talking about Taylor Swift. Now, I don't know what your opinion is on Taylor Swift. I personally respect the hell out of it because she is not only an incredibly amazing singer, an artist, and a beautiful human being, but she also has a responsibility, a tremendous responsibility that she's taken on her shoulders to not only bring people up through her words and her singing, but to show people what it means to pursue beautiful things through the actions that she's taken in her life, through the actions that she consistently takes in her life. And he said something about her showing up to weddings, random people's weddings, despite not necessarily in her position wanting to create the time or maybe having the time to begin with. And I was thinking to myself, so this essentially means that the deeper our connection is to each individual that we touch, the more valuable we are in society. If anything, it makes me feel damn good when I get to talk to someone on the internet through a comment or through a variation of philosophy, discussion. When people engage and they say things, anecdotes about their personal lives, their individuality, it brings me tremendous joy to think, hey, my thoughts actually are affecting people, not only affecting them, but gives them something to resonate with. Over the last 6 to 8 years, I've been a musician. And I used to go and gig. I still record music. I produce an album basically once a year, of which maybe I'll put a link down in the description. I'm a little self-conscious about it. But they're supposed to be journals. My evolution as a human being. So that if I pass away, at least there will be a record to anyone else that vibes with the things that I vibe with, that it's okay. It's okay to have multiple different interests. It's okay to have lots of different avenues of expression. Not only that it makes you a more powerful person because you genuinely believe in the things that you do. But more than anything, being a musician taught me the power of subconscious communication, the power of dwelling in a pocket, of jamming with people, of not even necessarily getting along with people, but building something together. It showed me how easy that really is when we do it out of the sake of enjoyment, when we do it out of the love of the process. And I think social media and anything we do online should be a part of our life, not somehow some sort of abstraction, some sort of way to get us away from life, but really as a continuation of it. And I think a lot of people, though they vibe with certain comments, certain content on the web, I think a lot of people don't realize the tremendous amount of power they have in the ability to share these things with the people that they love, in the ability to add to the content, through their comments, through their perspective. And I'm not one to say that all perspectives are not viable and relevant, right? Like even the perspectives that seem to be very dark and abusive, I say good. It's a part of the human condition. Elon Musk took over Twitter. And though I don't know what is necessarily in his mind all of the time, probably ever, because he's a fucking genius, I imagine that he is curating X to be a product of the human condition. Essentially, anything and everything goes. And I think that organic nature, I think that awareness of the larger picture, I think it gives people refuge in their individuality and our pursuits. So hopefully this gives you some things to think about when it comes to how you engage with this online world. That it's not necessarily something to be afraid of. If we are sure of ourselves, if we are confident in our ability, our desires, and our self-worth, I mean, what is there to lose? In fact, I would argue there's everything to gain. One of the main reasons that I started this brand, Terabify, was I was watching what the top 50 YouTubers said to the novices, the ones that just started out. Mr. Beast said, make 100 videos, then come to me. Then I'll tell you something. I said, okay, fine, I'm gonna make 100 videos. One of the guys, I think it was Veritasium, wasn't part of the video, but I used to watch it with him when I was younger. He said he met his wife on social media. He essentially met his wife through his YouTube channel. And then one of the guys, the 50 top YouTubers, he said, it's always a good idea to start this endeavor. It's always a good idea to get online because it necessarily expands your network. It necessarily expands your ability to connect with other human beings. And what is more valuable than that in our lives, right? In our human existence, what is more valuable than connecting to other souls? Okay, fine, you can make the argument that spending time in nature, connecting with other organisms' souls are equally important. I'm all for it. But I think in order to understand our own perspective, understand our own thoughts, and grow, we need to have other human beings in our life. And what if we don't have a place to find them, if we don't have the time to find them, then why not utilize the idle time we have that we spend scrolling to build those networks, to build that connection, to share the things that we believe in? It might be a little whimsical, a little ideological, but at the end of the day, I genuinely believe that's where humanity has to move in order to utilize the solar system, in order to be ubiquitous, in order to actualize life's purpose, which currently I believe is simply to evolve, to change, and to become more adaptive, or better adapted to the environment around it. This is a very short life, my friend. Really. The days can feel incredibly long sometimes. The weeks can feel like a drag. But alternatively, the morning, the moment when we wake up with full energy and a mission. That moment can last a lifetime. So though in the hours, though when we're moving fast, it can feel incredibly short, I would argue, make the most out of your time. Genuinely try to make the most out of your time. And spread as much good and as much service as you can. If that's not your mission, whatever your mission is, spread as much as you can. Be a part of the pulse of life, the river of life. I think it will bring you and everyone around you, including myself, a lot of peace. So food for thought. If you have a second, check out this video. I made it a while back about spirituality. I think this connects in with the topic quite well. Actualize your potential catalyst. This world needs you. Take care.